Hi, I'm Joseph Patrick, co-founder of Lamont Bros. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about whether paint is a good finish for your kitchen or bathroom cabinetry. And I've met with hundreds of clients over the past decade plus, and I've seen paint fail sometimes, in particular instances in kitchens and bathrooms. And I want to talk about when that happens, why it happens, and how you can prevent it, and overall, how to decide if paint's a good finish for you. So first, let's talk about why paint fails in a kitchen or bathroom and cabinetry. The main reason, one way or another, is moisture. And there's two areas that I've primarily seen it fail in regards to moisture. One is in high moisture areas in the space. So in kitchens, this is often the doors right below the sink and right next to the dishwasher. In bathrooms, this tends to be toe kick or quarter round toward the floor, where there's a high level of moisture at times if somebody spills from the bathtub and doesn't wipe it up. High moisture content areas will allow moisture to basically sit right next to or right on the paint for a long period of time, basically until it evaporates. And this happens over and over again, and eventually the paint ends up cracking a little bit, moisture gets behind the paint. As soon as that's penetrated, the moisture begins to peel the paint off. So this is a good example here, how that looks in a cabinet door. And this one here is a very high-end cabinet door. It's a really high-quality cabinet, and we soaked this door for 24 hours underwater for another video that we did to just test different types of finishes, and this is what happened. But this is not unique to doors that get soaked in water for 24 hours. I've seen this happen multiple times, especially on the doors right below the kitchen sink in remodels that either other people have done or even we've done. Now, the second area that you can get paint damage in a kitchen by moisture is kind of a combination of mechanism and moisture. So there's a dent or a scratch on the cabinet. And then, because there's a dent or a scratch, there's moisture in the air, and that allows the moisture to get in behind the paint and start peeling it and cracking it. Or if you're cleaning the cabinet and the moisture there gets in and behind the paint. And so it's a dent or a scratch that's not immediately repaired. So if paint can fail in this type of way in my kitchen, the question begs, what can I do about it if it's failing, or what can I do to prevent it? And the answer to what can I do to prevent it is to really prevent that moisture from damaging the paint. So on those doors right below the sink, after you're done washing the dishes, take a towel, wipe the moisture off. Moisture is going to damage your paint, and that's going to cause you to have to refinish or replace those doors. If the cabinet doors get dinged or the cabinets get dinged, repair that immediately. Normally you can get a repair kit from the manufacturer of the cabinets, or you can often get a color matched paint that'll match in color and the sheen will be close. That you can at least take a little dab, and the goal is seal that ding up so it's not exposing the wood to moisture and allowing moisture to get in behind the paint. What can I do if the paint is failing in a significant way all over my kitchen? Because there's lots of dings, or there was a lack of a really good paint job originally. At that point, really the only thing you can do is refinish the entire kitchen. And so the doors would all get removed, the hardware would get removed, everything would get sanded lightly down to remove any paint that's flecking off, and then everything would get repainted. And that way you have a complete seal over all of the wood elements in the kitchen. Now that you've seen some failure points for paint, you should be asking, is there a better finish for my kitchen cabinets than paint if it fails when it's dinged like this? And the answer is maybe there is. There is a stained finish with a top coat that's normally a clear coat, often a conversion varnish, and I have seen that fail significantly less often than I've seen a paint fail. And when we did our 24-hour water test, if you go watch that video, you can see that the stain way outperformed the paint. So a stain option is a good option, but you're limited to a wood look. And often when people are looking for a wood floor in their kitchen, they want to contrast the wood floor with a solid color cabinet. And paint is really popular right now for kitchen cabinets. We're doing a lot of white kitchens still. That white is generally moving to more of a cream. We're doing a lot of blue islands, we're doing green cabinets. There's a lot of different colors that we're using in the kitchen, and it's really making the kitchens pop and really creating some unique spaces that I love. So if I want to get that look, what can I do? Is there any option that is going to be more durable than a paint? And the answer is yes. What you should consider is a super matte foil or some type of foil or laminate product. And again, check out that water test video. We ended up testing some laminates in that video as well, and they ended up outperforming the paint significantly. Now, the difficulty with some laminates is often you'll see laminates on slab doors, and you may want a shaker look or something that looks a little more traditional. So that works great for a modern kitchen, but doesn't work so good for something that's traditional or transitional. And so that's where the super matte foils come in. So here's an example of a super matte foil kitchen, and the door here is essentially created, and then a foil is applied from the front. Sometimes the back can color match, sometimes it's white. And it is significantly more durable than a paint because it's essentially a foil or plastic coating that's put on top of the wood. So it's very difficult to ding. If it is dinged, it can't really be repaired. So you would end up replacing the door instead of repairing it, but very difficult to ding. And it ends up holding up a lot better over time than paint. You may have had or been in kitchens that were built in the 90s where they were doing a lot of melamine type products. This is similar, but the main failure point with all those melamines in the 90s was that the glue failed, and so the melamine started peeling. They've essentially fixed that, and so that's a similar product to that without the peeling issues. Now, the disadvantage to that product, a super matte foil, it's only available in a frameless cabinet. So if you want to be really, truly traditional, you can't do it in a face frame cabinet or an inset face frame cabinet. And I'll link to another video that gives you the differences between those below. But that puts you in a category where it works really good for modern, and you can stretch that and bring it into the transitional aesthetic, but it's not truly traditional. It also limits some of the moldings you can use. So if you want a really strong crown buildup at the top of the cabinet, you really can't get that with a super matte foil because they take the stick of crown and they apply this foil on the top of it. And so you're a little bit limited in terms of design when you choose to go with a super matte foil. So when should you choose a paint finish versus a super matte foil or a stain? Really, you should choose a paint when you're going for a true, historically accurate, traditional space. Or when you care more about the customizability and aesthetic than you do about durability. So maybe you're one of our clients who has finally kicked the last kid out to college, and you're empty nesters, and you're finally going to do the remodel you've always wanted to do without the kids destroying it. Paint's fine for you. You're gonna have the discipline to wipe that top of the door right below the sink after you're done doing the dishes, and you no longer have toddlers running around in the kitchen whacking things with swords and other things. If you're a young family where you just had a kid or have a couple of kids right now, paint might not be the best finish. It might be more important to focus on a product that's going to be more durable and last longer without having to refinish or touch up the cabinet. If you want to know more about remodeling products and process, check out the rest of our videos here on our channel, or check out our website, which is a large resource of remodeling information for the community.